File 14. The stairwell that rewinds. The footage starts on the 17th floor of a mostly vacant high-rise. Tenants had reported hearing voices in the stairwell even when security cameras showed nobody there. The camera faces a dented gray fire door under a red exit sign, while the reporter quietly explains that we're going down one level to document the noise complaints. The hallway behind us sounds normal. The moment the door opens, that changes. The stairwell beyond is narrow, concrete, and yellow lit, and every sound inside it feels too deep for the space. Even the air sounds different, like the building is swallowing noise instead of carrying it. The reporter pauses for half a second before stepping through, like she already feels it too. The reporter goes first, one hand on the rail, speaking in a low voice about tenants who claim the stairwell somehow reset. We reach the first landing, and she angles her flashlight down over the rail. The camera tilts with her. The frame glitches for a split second. When it steadies, we are back at the original door on 17, with the same exit sign above us and the reporter starting the same sentence again. She stops the second she hears her own repeated words. I swing the camera toward the sign to make sure we're seeing the same thing. This time she stops mid-sentence. She looks back at me and asks if I heard that. I pan to the wall sign, the chipped paint, and the same black scuff on the step below us. Everything is identical. She gives a nervous laugh and says maybe we somehow walked back up without realizing it. But the recording timer has been moving the whole time. There was no cut, no gap, no way we should be standing here again. The laugh dies fast once she realizes even her breathing sounds the same as it did the first time. The stairwell behind her feels less like a hallway now, and more like an opening. We try again, slower this time. I keep the camera level and avoid looking down. The reporter counts each landing out loud as we descend. 1, 2, 3. For a moment it seems to work. Then on the fourth landing we find the same crushed soda can in the same corner and the same rust mark on the wall. Before either of us can speak, a voice from below repeats her count back to us in her exact voice. It is not distorted or far away. It sounds like she is standing directly under us, reading from a script she already knows. She calls down the shaft and hears herself answer. Not similar. Her exact voice. The flashlight shakes in her hand as she backs away from the rail and says we need to go up now. We run back the way we came, but instead of reaching the hallway, we crash onto another 17th floor landing. The door is there again, only now the push bar is wet, streaked with finger marks pointing inward as if something on the other side had been trying to get in. The reporter wipes at one streak with her sleeve and instantly regrets touching it. Whatever is on the metal catches the light like fresh condensation, but it feels thicker than water. To test the loop, the reporter says the date, time, building address, and both our names into the mic. Then she tells me to stay put while she goes down alone. I keep filming the opening in the stairs while her footsteps fade below. A few seconds later, they return from above me instead. She comes back up from the wrong direction, pale and shaking, and says one sentence before grabbing my arm. Don't let me look down. Her eyes are wet and locked on the floor at my feet. She looks like she has already seen how this ends. She says that when she reached the next landing, she heard us talking below her before we had actually said those words. Then she looked through the railing and saw two figures on the landing under us with our exact equipment. One was me holding this camera. The other was her. She says the other version of her slowly looked up and smiled. While she is telling me this, I make the mistake of panning down just enough to catch the landing below. We are standing there too. The lower camera is angled up at the same height as mine. For one ugly second, it feels like both versions of us are discovering each other at the exact same time. The reporter yanks me back and we bolt for the door. It will not open. I slam the bar twice, and the camera catches the floor sign beside it changing between frames. 17, 16, 15, then back to 17 again. Beneath us, something starts tapping against the railing one landing below. Slow, steady, patient, like it is waiting for us to check where the sound is coming from. The tapping stops every time the camera shifts away from the stairwell. It starts again the second the lens drifts back toward the drop. We keep moving, this time hugging the wall and refusing to look over the rail. The numbers finally start dropping. 12, 11, 10. For nearly a minute, it feels like we escaped the pattern. Then we round the next turn and step onto another 17th floor landing, only this one looks older. The walls are stained, one fluorescent tube is dead, and in the strip of shadow beside the door stands a figure too tall to belong there. It does not move. It only lifts one arm and points down. The reporter makes a sound like she wants to scream but stops herself. Neither of us says a word because it feels like the figure is listening for one. I lower the camera just enough to see the shaft. The landings below are no longer empty. Figures stand on each level, some facing the wall, some facing the rail, several holding cameras with red tally lights. On the landing directly beneath us stand two people wearing our clothes. The version of me below raises his camera, and on its tiny monitor I can see our live image from above. Then every figure on every visible landing turns upward at once. Some of them move too late, like their bodies are catching up to instructions they received a second earlier. A few do not have faces I can make out at all, only dark patches where features should be. The last part of the footage is chaos. We force our way through a door that suddenly opens and run into a hallway full of apartment numbers that make no sense for the building. The reporter is crying and telling me not to cut the camera. Behind us, the stairwell door bangs open and shut by itself. Just before the clip ends, I look back. Another version of the reporter is standing inside the open stairwell doorway, smiling directly into the lens. Then, in my own voice from somewhere inside the stairwell, comes one final sentence. We're starting on 17. The duplicate reporter does not blink once before the footage cuts. The last frame freezes for an instant on her smile before everything drops to black. Stories like this have been submitted by viewers who claim places can remember the people who panic inside them. If anything strange has ever happened to you in a stairwell, hallway, or empty building, leave it in the comments. If you're still watching, subscribe before the next file opens. New horror drops on POV.